Hey guys, so I'm going on a little walk today. Decided that I'm going to try and record a more detailed story for telling you guys about my sexual assault from my first ever boyfriend when I was 27, and how he trafficked me to his roommates and other people, as well as produced a lot of illegal content with me when I was unaware of what was going on. This is kind of windy. I'm going to check out the sound real fast. Alright, sound is alright. So, when I was 27, about 6 years ago, I didn't start dating until then. So my entire life, I avoided dating pretty much at all costs, just out of fear of both what did actually end up happening, as well as fear of losing myself. Once I had a taste of a relationship, I knew that I wouldn't want to let that go. So I knew that once I did begin dating, I was going to be a different person. I was going to crave things that I hadn't craved before, and up until 27, I just spent a lot of my time on my own, researching, living on a commune, doing a lot of, just health and wellness kind of stuff, learning about Ayurvedic medicine and herbal medicine and science and just all that kind of stuff. And then I finally met, I can use first names, I'm not going to use last names, but I finally met Joseph. He was amazing. He was really good at, grooming me on Grindr, saying all the right things. We talked for months. In fact, I think he actually contacted me on 2 separate profiles over the months, because I didn't go for the first one. And so he was very diligent. He was in Seattle. I was in Bellingham. It's a 2-hour drive. So he made sure to get people that were outside of his jurisdiction. He's in King County, Burien, Seattle, Washington, and I was in Whatcom County. So he knew that he had to get someone from out of the county, because that would make pressing charges so much more difficult. So so it got to a point he was amazing. Our first date, we went actually on a road trip. I just decided to throw caution to the wind and went on a road trip with him, and he was just the most amazing gentleman. He was just beautiful, playful, kind, didn't push too hard. He just was so good at acting, just so real, and loving and kind. And I don't know when it started, but I know that it was once he had my love. Once he knew that, okay, this guy loves me, now he has me. Because once I decided I loved him and I told him I loved him, about 2 months in, it was my first relationship, I was moving fast. 2 months in, I told him I loved him, I couldn't hold it in anymore. And I remember he just got this look, and I thought it was being happy with me loving him, but it was I think he was waiting for it. Because once a victim loves the abuser, it's so much easier for us to trick ourselves into thinking it's just me, oh, that's just a bad dream, it can't be real, he's not that kind of person, I love him. Once you love somebody, you project everything that you want into them. And so I thought he was perfect. I thought he was amazing. The first time I remember being assaulted was July 4th, 2020, I believe. We were in Burien at his house. His roommates, Derek, Eddie, Sam, and Joel, spelt Joel. I won't say any last names, of course. That would be bad. But, there's lots of people with the names Joseph, Derek, Eddie, Sam, and Joel, or Joel. All of them. I remember I was being actively assaulted, begging for help, when Derek walked into the room, walked up onto the left side of the bed and looked at me being assaulted in the moment, I was literally being held out by multiple people, and it was terrible. And he laughed and he said, I was begging him for help. And he says, all right, guys, I'm heading out. Remember, I was never here. And he said that looking straight into my eyes. And they never thought I was going to remember any of this stuff. I was taking a drug called piracetam, which increases glutamate production in the brain, increasing long-term memory formation. The Versed and the GHB that they gave me would have worked if I wasn't a biohacker who was into nootropics at the time, taking a lot of things that increase long-term memory formation. So, I thought that I was developing hemorrhoids after a couple months because, there's damage being done. I had to actually get disability because the first night after it happened, I was so drugged up I didn't know what had happened. I just felt beat up. And he convinced me that it was fine. And when I asked him if we had sex, he got angry at me and made me feel ashamed for accusing him of something like that. But, yeah, so, there's so much details. I mean, I went to work July 5th, the night after it happened. I woke up at 7, said I think I need to call out, I feel sick, I'm in pain, I don't know what's going on. He convinced me that it's just a little hangover and I'll be fine and I should probably get out on the road before I'm late. He just rushed me off, like, sorry babe, you can't stay here, you gotta go, work is important. I was swerving the whole time. I was so drugged up, I didn't even realize it. I was trying to figure out why I feel weird, swerving my car, sobbing my eyes out, without any understanding as to why. Made it to work, tried to help the person out of bed because I was a CNA at the time, and I remember the most excruciating pain in my back. I went to the emergency room, had to call out of that shift, went to the emergency room, and it turned out that an entire muscle in my back had been torn. And the doctors said that for that one individual sheer muscle, and there's like a bunch of bands from the bottom of the back up to the top on each side, one of those bands was completely broken. He said for that to have happened, there would have had to have been about 100 pounds of force directly on that individual muscle. So I don't know what they did to do that, but they injured me physically in multiple ways. I'm fully healed now. In fact, I'm stronger than I was then. And psychologically too, like they wanted me to be broken. They wanted me to fall apart and to not be able to come back and be a person and show them how weak and pathetic and sad they are. But here I am, much stronger and much smarter than I was before. And I'm trying to show anyone else out there who's gone through anything similar to what I have, where someone older than you or someone that you trusted or someone that you loved took advantage of you. Right? And these are people that sometimes you know them for a long time in their family. Sometimes you know them for a long time in their friends. Sometimes you just meet them and you just trust them because you're a little naive and you're a little trusting and they're taking advantage of it because they're a monster. So there's lots of situations where these types of things can happen, but I want all of you to know that being broken, while it doesn't feel like it, is a choice. Because being broken isn't permanent. It's a part of healing. It's like being a cocoon, The caterpillar dissolves into liquid. It's painful, terrible, the nerves are completely disintegrated, and then it forms into a frickin' butterfly, all right? So I'm done being in my cocoon. I'm ready to come out. Hatching is a little painful, and it's a process, but I'm ready for it. I love all of you guys. I'm gonna keep doing updates on just my story in general. Take care.